Okay, so we've joined up to the bench. Let's get started and create a new league. Now, a league is the most customizable level for the bench. You can create a competition within one of our existing templates, but if you really want to customize things down to the lowest level possible, including positions on the field, the scoring rules, the formulas that calculate the scoring rules, all sorts of things, you want to create a league. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So from the profile page, click the Create League button. To start with, we give you a selection of templates which will let you get started really, so you don't have to create things completely from scratch. So there's a bunch of templates there. There's a couple of NRL ones as well for 2014 from our friends at NRL CEO. But we're going to start with just the basic bench template here. So let's select that. Now we're taken to the Create League page. Pretty simple really to get started. So let's just add in a name. Tutorial 2, let's call it. There's a whole bunch of options here. You can set passwords, so only certain people who know the password can join. You can set up a bunch of defaults that will carry down to the competitions. You can choose whether certain attributes are editable by the competitions, and this just lets you make sure that down at the competition level things are standardized if you need to. You can restrict playing positions, which means that Jonathan Brown, for example, can only be picked in a forward position. In this particular template, that setting is turned off, which means any player can be played anywhere on the field that you like. A whole bunch of options there. Let's skip over them for the moment. Let's just get started. So let's hit submit. All right, so we're back on our profile page now. The little message just popped up there to say you've created your league, and you can see it highlighted here for a little moment of time in green. So if we click then on the league, you can edit all those settings that we just chose before, but right now what I want to show you is the positions. So if we click the positions over here, what you can see is these are all the positions on the field that a coach can choose to play their players. Now you can see what the field placement looks like if you click on this link here, and here's what the coach will see for each round where they choose their team. Now what you can do here, you can customize these field positions. You can move them around wherever you like. Move that up there. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but for the sake of the tutorial, you can see that we can move those positions around. Now if I go back to our positions, you are in full control of what positions are available on the field. So let's add a new position. Here it is down the bottom here. We can edit that position. We can call it whatever we like. Special player. Now the priority defines the ordering of the position. So if we've got some certain rules like rotating off the bench, the priority comes into effect with which positions get selected first to rotate through the bench. You can choose the type. So we've got a couple of different variations here. So we're just going to leave them as a field position. The scoring expression lets you define how the rules are defined for this particular position. So let's say we want the special player to get 10 points for a goal and 2 points for a kick, plus let's say a point for a mark and a point for a hit out. Whatever. You can choose however you like. Now the field X and Y, you can set this up so that you can nominate the specific X and Y of the field position on the field, but it's easy, as I showed you just before, just to move them around. A couple of other options. If you're playing a game that doesn't restrict field positions, that means that any player can play in any position. These options just let you choose some of the reporting facilities. So the report, for example, lets you choose which specific positions are reported for scoring. Now, if you've got a few positions that score the same point system, it's best to only put one of those on reports, otherwise it's going to fill up your table with all the same values. Similarly for suggestions, when you're choosing players, there's some options for suggesting the best players for a certain position. If you're scoring expressions are the same for multiple positions, it's best to turn them off so you've only got one, you're not filling things up. Now, some advanced settings. The position group is where you nominate things for restricted positions, and we'll cover off restricted positions in a different tutorial. Now, something that's new in 2014 is being able to disable a given position for a certain round, and this is fantastic for being able to deal with those crazy buy rounds when a certain number of real clubs are not playing for a given round. So what that means is, let's say the buy rounds are in 7, 8 and 9, we can nominate to disable this position for those rounds. So what that means is your coaches only need to pick a smaller team on the field for that round. It makes it much easier to be able to field the team without having a whole bunch of empty positions. So let's save that. All right, there's our special position there. If we go back to our field placement editor, here's our special player. We can put him wherever we like. Let's stick him down there for now. Now you can see the label was a little bit long. It's best to choose a small label so it fits in there, but you can fiddle around with that as you like. So let's close those. Now, one more thing that I want to show you. If we choose our bench position, now you'll notice that bench positions don't have a scoring expression. You can choose to have one if you like, but typically they wouldn't have any scoring. But if we go to the Advanced tab, what we can do, we can nominate to disable certain positions through which this bench position will rotate. So let's say we want a bench position that only rotates to the midfield. We can disable the forwards, we can disable the ruckman, the tackler and the special players. Save it like that. So now what would happen if a coach nominated a player on the bench and one of his players on the midfield did not play, that bench position would rotate to the midfield only. Any other position that didn't play, doesn't matter. That bench position will not rotate to those. Okay, so that's our positions. So let's just go back to our profile page now. And our basic league is now set up. So the next thing we need to do is start to create our competitions and our clubs, and we'll cover that in the next tutorial. Thanks.